It's tip-off time right here on Big East Shootaround from our Midtown Manhattan studios. I'm John Fanta. The Big East Hoops schedule came out this week. Hope you got your calendar out. You've been marking it, Big East Hoops fans, lining up your travel for the season. And we've got plenty more to talk about as well. It's been a week full of different headlines. I'm joined by BEDN correspondent Jay Alter to go over them. And Jay, we start in fitting fashion with some candles.
This has been a busy week. You have the schedules come out, and we've got a coach's birthday, and that's always a big deal in the conference. And the players with a surprise on coach. He didn't see it coming, a cake in the locker room. So much fun, and you could tell, and we were just up in Friartown, there's a mutual love between players and coach to players.
Yeah, you can sense how much Ed Cooley's passion rubs off on the Providence community. They surprised him in the locker room. I got to ask, you've had, many birthday celebrations, I'm sure. Any special ones that stick out?
No surprise birthdays, really none that stick out. What about you?
My parents lined up an Italian restaurant for us to go to, myself,
Chicken
along
parm.
with my friends. Yeah, some chicken parm. And then we went to see the Kevin James hit Zookeeper.
Not Paul Blart Mall Cop?
No.
Okay.
I can't believe they made a sequel of that. I mean, unbelievable.
Total blunder. So surprise birthdays.
Yeah.
Surprise at practice as well.
Yeah.
Gordon Hayward going back to Butler. I mean, when you have a legend get to check out your practice, nothing better than that.
Yeah, and he shared some words of wisdom. Hayward now on the Boston Celtics, reunited with Brad Stevens. That's going to be exciting, man.
There's going to be more Butler fans rooting for the Celtics to see. It's going to be Boston fans and Indianapolis fans. There might be more Celtics fans and Pacers fans in Indianapolis this year. He is beloved by Butler and really cool. If you're LaVall Jordan or a freshman on that team, to have a legend like that come back to practice as you're just getting the flow of practice first couple weeks, really awesome.
The Eagles got a big Week 1 win, but I think they could use some wide receiver help from maybe Mikal Bridges?
Yeah, 6'6" doesn't hurt. First, Dylan Painter. Can we replace the long snapper? That is poor. Jalen Brunson with the bailout right in the breadbasket for Bridges. Take another look. I like that lefty delivery from Brunson.
Yeah, the snap's fine. I mean, I saw worse snaps on Sunday.
Well, you're a Browns fan, so that would make sense. Hey, only a 3-point loss. That's like a win.
I know, they hung in.
I will say about Brunson, he's all about the assists, whether it's on the basketball court or on the football field. Or I guess that was on the basketball court too. But great pass. Air it out.
We talked about dogs last week on the show.
Huge dog guy right here.
Butler Blue, Georgetown Jack.
Love
he
dogs.
Just says that. He likes cats more.
Meow.
Chris Mullen brought his dog, Kuma, to work.
Can he play power forward?
I got to tell you,
He's got the size.
He says if the Big East had a dog, I mean, he just says Big East.
I don't think Butler Blue would like hanging out with Kuma.
Kuma.
It might be a little intimidating.
But Kuma looks nicer than...
Yeah.
I watched the AMC Fear Fest in October, and they have the scary dog movie, Cujo. Is it right?
Cujo?
Producers? Is it Cujo or Cujo? Cujo. Terrible. I'm more of a Mike Myers guy. That's not too far from now.
That's a big dog, though. It'd be a little scary. I mean, if you're... I don't know.
I gotta tell you, no, Kuma, I mean, St. John's may have a new mascot. Johnny Thunderbird's great, but could you see him...
Watch out, Johnny Thunderbird.
The Red Storm, here they come with Kuma leading them out. I mean, that would be pretty fun.
Running out onto Lou Carnesecca Arena.
I like that.
It's great.
I like the idea. Well, we've got a lot coming up on the show today. This is going to be a
loaded show.
This is a really fun show today. We've got Coach Cooley coming up. Jay Alter visited with him for a little bit, and then I had to have some lunch if I'm going to do the interview, and we're going to do 2 in a day. Got to incorporate some food as well. You're not going to want to miss what we were eating and talking about. It is a lot of fun. One of your favorite Netflix shows. Just an alert. Stay tuned for potential spoiler. Be on alert, Big East Hoops fans. But first, as we always do on Shootaround, let's have our Throwback Thursday.
Dick Enberg with Al McGuire at the Milwaukee Arena. Sellout of over 11,000 fans.
Going back to 1982, this wasn't a Big East game then, but it is now. Number 4 DePaul at Milwaukee Arena, and Marquette fans fired up. Al McGuire in the house. First time he'd been back since he left as head coach. On the call with Dick Enberg. And oh my, Marquette off to a hot start at home against a top 5 team. Firing it in transition. Check out this book. And one. Everything going Marquette's way early. And here's a face you may recognize. Glenn Rivers. His friends call him Doc. Check out the hops. Throwing down a slam and then an and one. Doc Rivers leading Marquette early. Blue Demons, though, they're not going down without a fight. Not with Ray Meyer at the helm. 724 career wins for the legend. And one of them here, DePaul, a second half surge, pounding it inside. And folks, we said number 4 in the country. There's a reason. The follow and one. That gives DePaul the lead, and this would put it to bed. Tomahawk Jam. Blue Demons win 67-66.
Here with the head coach of the Providence Friars, Ed Cooley. Coach, thanks for spending some time with us. There's so much to be excited about with Providence. You've been to 4 straight NCAA tournaments. Just the recruiting continues to get better and better. There's a lot of people who have that belief and vision in Providence basketball, but the man really at the forefront of that is you. You have a vision, a belief that this Providence Friars team can make a lot of noise, not only in the Big East, you've already done that, but in the nation. How do you go about that on a day-to-day basis?
Well, you have to have people around you that you trust, and I think we have, I've said this a lot, I think there's great staffs out there, and I'm very biased, but I think with the core group of guys that we have, with Brian Blaney, Jeff Battle, Ivan Thomas, Ncaa, and Kevin Kerbeck, and then you have your support staff. It's the people. You know what I mean? It's not about the head coach. I just was fortunate to be given the title, but everybody here is on the same page, paddling the same boat, and we're just trying to do something unique. You know, it all starts with recruiting, and then it starts with your culture. You know, if you have a culture of consistency, gratitude and appreciation, I think anything's possible.
When you're on the recruiting trail, how do you sell? If I'm a recruit, how are you selling me on Providence basketball?
The people. You know, I think everybody has beautiful buildings. Everybody's going to have a nice facility at the level of which we play. I think you got to trust the people, and you know, I think people change your lives, not building, not buildings, and not a nice piece of grass or a dorm. The people in those places will change you. And at Providence, small is big. You know, we are the smallest school in the Big East, but we're also one of the most unique schools in America. Because of our size, our young men are able to be special. And that's what we sell. We don't want to be good, we want to be great. And you know, we're going to trust the process to get to greatness.
Let's take a look at the guys you have right now. We'll omit Casey Woodring, but you return everybody. He returns everybody. How special and rare is that in today's college basketball landscape that a team that went to the NCAA tournament returns everybody?
Well, you know, we're fortunate. You know, Rodney Bullock coming back for his 5th year, and, you know, Kyron Cartwright, you know, going to get his degree. Emmett Holt and Jalen Lindsay, it all starts with that leadership. And, you know, to bring in Alpha, who's really developed, and Khalif Young, who's developing, and getting Drew Edwards back and Malik. We have some depth, but, you know, you're still playing in a league that sent 17th to the tournament. You got to be persistent. You got to be tough. You got to win your home games. You got to win your home games. You got to get lucky in a non-conference, and especially in your conference, you know, preseason tournaments. The fact that we have everybody back doesn't guarantee anything other than it gives you an opportunity because you have experience.
And we'll have some fun with Coach a little later with John as you go to the, where are you taking us?
We're going to LaSalle Bakery. They got great breakfast sandwiches. So for all of you that are coming to Friartown, check out LaSalle Bakery. The sandwiches are phenomenal.
Okay, we'll have some fun with Coach then. I'll get you out on this. One last Big East related question. Yep. It's said 7 teams to the tournament. It's a grind day in and day out. But when you take a step back, a lot of really good coaches that are the nucleus for these programs. Is there a mutual respect between the 10 of you as well?
Absolutely, a great respect. You know, when Dave Gavitt, God rest his soul, started this conference years ago, he always says this was a coaches' league. And when you look at the legendary coaches, and God rest his soul, and Coach Massimino having recently passed away, you know, those guys are legends. John Thompson, Jim Boeheim, Jim Calhoun, and to be part of this coaching tree here at Providence, it's a special group of guys, and we do have respect for one another because you see how hard we all work.
Well, as always, we appreciate the time with Coach Cooley. Looking forward to LaSalle's Bakery a little bit
Looking forward to
later.
it. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
It's unbelievable. This is, so the chocolate mousse, I'm a big chocolate guy. It's really good. This is probably better. That's how good this is. And they're going away because the summer's ending, but mascarpone, very top. Come on.
Come on.
And here's Coach Cooley rolling up. They're just like feeding me.
I told you should try the breakfast sandwiches. They're pretty good.
Oh, the breakfast we've heard. This is Cheryl, and we're just,
How you doing?
this place, the bakery itself, the business 70 plus years. And it sounds like Providence college students just come here all the time.
They do. I'm here a lot.
You're here a lot.
Yeah, this one, I mean, I go to this one and the one over there on Smith Street.
I'm gonna try to get washed off. Let's head in and have a little bit of lunch.
Let's do it. I think I'm gonna go somewhat healthy. I'm gonna go the old spinach with some pepperoni. I think I'm gonna order my bride an almond croissant.
I like that.
She texts me. So let me show you the text.
Yeah, let's see the text.
See, you see that?
Love of my life.
Love of my life is in my phone.
You know what? I saw like a Twitter poll the other day, and they
Yeah.
were saying, "What do you have your significant other in your phone as?" And "Love of my life" was not an option, but it's the best one I've ever seen. That's Coach Cooley.
You gotta have game, man. You gotta have some game. Oh, sorry, I forgot you at lunch today. Bring me an almond croissant. Almond croissant coming up. I really like it.
I love it.
I love the brand.
You know my husband, I'm gonna go home, he's gonna fight me for it. He's not gay.
You know what? Stay tough.
I'm staying.
Tell him if he wants to have the bookstores around the
That's
corner,
Right.
right? I know. See that right there? A little close up right there.
That's yours.
See that right there? I'm gonna grab one of those.
Yeah.
I'm gonna for sure grab one of those.
Done deal. So while we're waiting, do you mind sitting down? For a
No,
couple-
let's do it. Yep.
We'll talk
Yep.
a little bit.
Yep. Yeah. I worked at Bridgewater Raynham Regional High School, and they gave me my first full-time job out of college, and I was a world history teacher, a U.S. history teacher, and I was 23 years old, and I was afraid. You know, you're walking into this classroom, and
Professor Cooley, Mr. Cooley, or?
no, Professor Cooley. They call me Mr. Cooley, and ironically, we were in a hotel in San Francisco. We're going up the elevator, and this kid says, "Mr. Cooley." Mr. Cooley. He goes, "You were my student teacher at Bridgewater Raynham Regional High School."
It's unbelievable.
Small world.
Tell me about your family.
Well, my wife Nerese, we have 2 children. They're growing up. I have a 20-year-old, I have a 16-year-old, soon to be 17. We do a lot together. We love to watch Jeopardy every day. My wife got me into the Game of Thrones, watching the Thrones a little bit, watching little Ray Donovan,
Nice.
little Billions. You know, one of the better ones I watched is only one series. I think everybody watching should watch this. The Night Of.
The night of.
Pretty
I haven't
good.
seen it. I'm big on House of Cards.
House of Cards. Oh, great.
Frank.
Oh, Underwood. I love it.
It's my favorite show.
I
love the
love it.
leverage.
You know what? It talks to you about the abusiveness of power.
Great.
You know what I mean? You talk about you're talking about being in charge. Man, do they know they're in charge. Right at the final end when she looks at the camera and says, "It's my turn." I love it. I love it. I love it.
I'm not on season 5, so I think I might know what's coming now. I'm on season 4.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I don't want to blow your game up, though. I don't want to blow your game up.
If you didn't coach basketball, what would you coach? And can you even think about?
In all honesty, if I didn't coach basketball, I wouldn't be alive. I don't think of anything else. I'm asked that question a lot. If I didn't coach basketball, what would I do? Never comes to mind. I'll do what I'm supposed to do, and that's help people. You know, at the end of the day, that's what we all have to do.
You want a bite of a calzone with me?
I would love. My man.
Coach.
This is good.
Yeah. A1. She said it was crispy, but I like crispy.
This is really good. You guys want a bite? $2.
Number one bite? Yeah, couple bucks.
Gotta make some money, right?
You cook?
No.
Yeah.
You know what
Grill?
I do best? No. I boil water.
Get your water,
A
bro.
little salt in it. Put whatever you want. I love it.
Love it.
Thank you.
Coach Cooley.
Go Friars.
A huge thank you to Coach Cooley, who was a ton of fun in Friartown. And that is our first, but certainly not last, Big Eats segment. And you could have spent 4 hours at that place.
I could have. Thanks to Cheryl from LaSalle Bakery.
Big shout out to Cheryl. Come on, Cheryl.
I got to go back into the
Yeah,
ovens.
you did. I didn't get to go back.
They had the strawberry shortcake, the chocolate mousse. I mean, I could have eaten the whole store. I seriously could have. They had the oven.
I don't
you know,
doubt it. I thought she was going to adopt you.
I tell you what, I'm
be
going
very
back to
content.
LaSalle Bakery in just a matter of months because it was that good, Jay.
It was.
Seriously, folks, really good food, and it's right by campus. There's actually 2 of them, just miles apart. Cool place to be in Friartown.
Maybe a new sponsor of the show.
Hey, we're working on it. We're working on it. Let's go to Friartown, though, because that's where the 2017 Gavitt Games will start, with the Big East schedule coming out. Also with that are TV times and the information for the Gavitt Games, and it all tips off with Minnesota at Providence, Richard Pitino in Friartown.
A great matchup, followed up by Purdue at Marquette the next night, and that's size versus shooting, like the yin and the yang that matchup presents.
And then a huge Wednesday. Butler will travel to Maryland. That is a challenging test for Laval Jordan in his first week with the Bulldogs. Creighton at Northwestern. The Wildcats return virtually everybody. Can Creighton's fast pace throw Northwestern off a little bit?
Well, what's great about a lot of these matchups for both the Big Ten and the Big East, competitive early tests. Remember, this is the first week of the season, and you are getting thrown to the fire. And Indiana at Seton Hall, that might be my favorite game. Archie Miller coming to town. Great opportunity for Seton Hall to get the Pirates an early, big-time win. They've got that star-studded senior class, and you welcome a team like Indiana in. All eyes on that game.
Yes, and the conferences, the Big East, the Big Ten, honoring the late Dave Gavitt, who is an absolute visionary in the college basketball world. And it would be cool again to see these 2 conferences come together. We didn't even get to Xavier, Wisconsin, and those 2 had an epic NCAA tournament encounter 2 years ago. It'll be a rematch of that.
This will be a great one. Xavier at Wisconsin. Again, a lot of hype, top 10 recruiting class for the Musketeers. An opportunity to make a statement on the road at Cole Fieldhouse. And one other thing, John. This is the 3rd year of the Gavitt Games, and guess what? Even. 8 wins, 8 losses for both conferences. It shows how competitive this tournament is year in and year out.
So many storylines. It'll be across FS1 and the Big Ten Network. We've got something else coming up.
Well, John, he's racking up the Sky Miles because we were in Providence, out to Milwaukee, and you did a little shoot-around, of course, the name of the show, with some of the best three-point shooters in the entire country.
I tried to get my range going. Now
that is priceless. What's the shot? We're about to see it, but
let's do it.
But first, we got to tell you about the Seton Hall newcomers. 3 new Pirates. Here is our recruiting profile.
Seton Hall's 3-member freshman class is highlighted by an ESPN Top 100 recruit. That's Miles Cal, the 6'4", 4-star shooting guard. At the high school level, Cal put up over 26 points a game, over 9 rebounds per game as well, tack on 3 assists and 3 steals. He's Delaware's 2nd-ranked recruit in the class of 2017. He looks to make an immediate impact for the Pirates' backcourt to give them a boost. Jordan Walker joins Cal. Walker's on the Patrick School. The 6-foot point guard led the Patrick School to a number 12 national ranking in the USA Today High School Super 25, averaging 12 points and 5 assists per game. He joins Pirates' Angel Delgado, and now the associate head coach Shaheen Holloway has passed Patrick School players to come to the Hall. The Pirates also add size, as Sandro Mamukalashvili is a 3-star recruit, a 6'10" forward from Mount Verde Academy, as he adds on to an already stacked roster.
Well, I didn't fly all the way from New York just to watch practice. I'm here to play with 2 guys who combined for 153 threes last year, Markus Howard, Andrew Rowsey. We're going to play a game of Wojo, so like horse or pig, but we'll spell out the letters of your coach's shortened name. What do you guys think? What are my chances here?
I think you're going to win.
You think I'm going to win? Yeah. Who are we kidding?
Allard for 3. Got it. Whoa.
From 10 feet behind the arc, Andrew Rowsey.
Oh, boy. Oh,
might give me a letter.
I'm going out without a fight.
He might give me a letter. Now we got me. He got me.
Here I come. Here I come. Pressure's on.
It's been a long day.
From the end here, folks. From the tip. To WOJ.
It's been a long day. Oh, man. That's the one. That's the one.
I'm done for it. I'm cooked. Really, burnt. I gotta make you stay alive. I came all the way to Milwaukee. I still lost to these guys. Gave it my all, had them on the ropes, couldn't pull off the upset.
That was close. That was close.
That was closer than we thought.
It was close.
Here's the difference. They've been on the floor for the last 2 hours and 15 minutes. I didn't even stretch. I just walked on with no work. Guys, thank you.
Thanks, man.
Nothing to be ashamed of. You hung tough with two of the best three-point shooters in the entire country.
I just love competing at the highest level, and you want to win. I had a chance.
You're not a
I was
Division
right
I
there.
basketball player.
I'm not. And those two, I
They
mean,
are.
That's after their workout, and it's intense.
They were
They're
warmed
into
up.
it. Right. I just kind of stepped on
I was
the floor.
impressed, and I know that means nothing to you, but
No, it means something to me.
But I was impressed. You hung tough with really good guys. Job well done. You did better than I would have done.
I'm posing the challenge to all of you right now on Facebook and Twitter. If you want a piece of me, I'll take you to it on the court. Come on.
Well,
we'll take anybody on. Any Big East Hoops fan. When we come
Now
to you.
Now we're a 2-on-2 duo.
Well, we'll work on your shooting range. You got baseline game.
I'll back you up.
Yeah.
I'll back you up.
Post-up game.
All right, John, we've got questions as always. They've been flooding in. You can keep them coming on our Facebook Live feed, or you can tweet at us at Big East MBB. All right, first question. It comes from @McGov. Who is your breakout star this year for the Big East?
Breakout star this year in the Big East.
Well, let's define breakout. So relatively unknown.
Yeah,
Big East talent.
somebody springing on the scene. I got to think about it here for a moment's time.
Keep the questions coming while he thinks.
This is a tough one for me.
I've never seen you so stumped.
I know. I actually am stumped on this one because I'm thinking across the league. I will go ahead and say it's just tough. I'm going to say Paul Jorgensen at Butler because the transfer is going to make an immediate impact for their backcourt. They have Kamar Baldwin as their point guard. I'm going to go with Jorgensen to accompany him, make an impact. You will notice it. So Baldwin's taking on a lifted role. I think those two are the ones to break out because people think that Butler could take a step back under LaVall Jordan. After thinking about it, I like Jorgensen, the transfer, to accompany Baldwin, who will be the point guard for the Bulldogs in the backcourt.
How about Eric Pascale from Villanova? A lot of talent
that's
left
a
for
good
the
one.
Wildcats. Pascale going to take that next step.
I like that. And he's kind of got a little bit, he's not at all truly like Chris Jenkins, but he's got a little bit of that style to him, the way he stretches the floor. Yeah. They need him to get a little bit better defensively, but he's a force.
I think he can give you a little more on the interior than Jenkins did as well.
Yeah.
All right, question number 2. It comes from Scott Feld. Trayvon Blewett, who already has broken out in this Big East Conference, is he an NBA talent?
Absolutely, and that was talked about before he made the decision to come back to Xavier. It was thought, folks, that Blewett could be heading to the NBA, but he made the decision to return. So, yeah, he has NBA written all over him. He will be drafted next June. Trayvon Blewett has that type of talent. Accompany him with J.P. McCura, and now you've got a good problem to have with Quentin Gooden and Paul Scruggs at point guard. Xavier's always got really good rebounding skill. The Musketeers have everybody back. Their major contributors back. They bring in a good class. They have the ability to make a deep run in March and get to the Final Four.
Last question. It comes from Jays All Day, which disappointingly was not a Twitter account dedicated to me. So it's about Creighton. Will the Blue Jays be in the NCAA tournament? And can Caleb Joseph become a top Big East point guard, which is saying something? You have Marcus Howard, Jalen Brunson. Can Caleb Joseph, in his first year playing for the Blue Jays, crack into that top elite group?
Well, that definition varies in the Big East because there's so much guard play. But Creighton will go as far as their point guard play takes them. It's a big question for the Blue Jays entering this year, what kind of consistency they're going to get from the point guard position. They have Thomas, they have Foster. You got to have somebody that will manage. Their schedule starts out right away with a couple of tough tests. They go to Northwestern, and then they've got UCLA on their schedule, who will be loaded once again. So for the Blue Jays, it's about being efficient. If they start to fall into turnovers, they can go the other direction. They need Caleb Joseph. They're going to go as far as he is able to deliver for them on top of Foster and Thomas. You got to have a game manager.
That's all the questions we have time for, but every week you can send them in. We'll try and get it on the show. John Fanta, you break it down beautifully as always.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, that breakout player question was tough, and as you can see...
There's a lot of options, and I like your Jorgensen pick.
And a good one with Pascale as well. We're back next week at 3 o'clock. Thursday, guest to be announced. You're just going to have to stay tuned till early next week when we do announce that guest, and the season is inching closer and closer, but this weekend... we got something going on.
Yes.
We're in Times Square.
Freshman fundamentals.
Yeah.
And this is really a first of its kind in the conference, bringing the freshmen together. Again, these kids have only been on campus a couple of weeks. Now they're meeting each other in what better place, New York City.
Yeah, and how about this for a former player panel? Randy Foy, Doug McDermott, Jerry Walker.
That'd be a pretty good 3-on-3 team,
yeah.
too.
If you've been following the Big East, you know those three names. If you follow the NBA, you know a couple of those guys, too. So that's the former player panel. It all tips off on Friday evening. We'll be having some pictures and social over at Big East MBB. He is Jay Alter. I'm John Fanta. Thanks for joining us for the Schedule Unveil Tuesday.
We got Beyond the Game.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
The Georgetown Hoyas doing a lot of good in the D.C. area, John Fanta.
That is... very well done.
That's why, I'm not totally useless. I can remind you every once in a while of something we're doing on the show.
Yes, well, let's do that right now. The Hoyas were featured in our Beyond the Game this week. They went to D.C. to the soup kitchen so others might eat. Patrick Ewing and his guys serving the homeless by making some soup, and this is really a great job by the Hoyas to get out in the community. They even said it before school starts up. We got out to the community to help those involved.
Patrick Ewing leading the way, and a great bonding for this team under first-year head coach Patrick Ewing to get off the basketball court and do some good together as a team for the local community.
Yeah, this is really great to see. They went to So Others Might Eat Again. Great job by the Hoyas to get out even before school starts and show that service is a priority. And one other related note to service academics and athletic excellence, congratulations to the Marquette Golden Eagles, who were awarded the 2016-17 President's Award, the conference awarding athletic director Bill Scholl and a marvelous all-around program there with multiple Big East champions. Congratulations to the Golden Eagles.
Well deserved.
We're back next week, 3 o'clock Eastern Time on Shootaround, on Facebook Live, the Big East Twitter account, and Fox Sports Go. He's Jay. I'm John. See you next Thursday, Big East Hoops fans.